Hi, everybody. Welcome. Happy holidays. We are flipping the script today with our book club, reading and watching and listening. For this one, we are doing Frosty the Snowman. Super fun. We won't keep you all too long, but I'm excited to do this one because it's completely in reverse. So I'm going to first let my fabulous friends and co-hosts introduce themselves, and I'm going to update that description so you'll be able to click on it in just a few minutes and follow everybody. So we'll start off with Ben and swing it around.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ben. You can find me every Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Running to Write on YouTube, where I host productivity sprints as I try and work on my ongoing series. I'm currently in the middle of my fourth novel. Well, I'm currently editing my fourth novel, and I'm in the middle of it towards the end, but I'm definitely going to do at least another few iterations between now and whenever I decide to finally publish it. But if you're hanging out on Monday night, you want to get something productive done, you want to fold laundry, you want to write, you want to read, you want to do whatever, come hang out, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Running to Write.
Yep. And I'm Natalie Locke. I still have Ben's books on my TBR forever. I support my friends. I just can't support reading sometimes. I made sure to get the Kindle. So nice. I think you had a deal on the first one being free. And I was like, well, now I just got to get the whole set. It's set. But good to know that number 4 is coming. So that way, if I do read the first 3, I won't have to wait too long. Though, I mean, how long are you expecting it to be, by the way?
The wait, I'm expecting sometime in 2026.
No. I meant like how long is the series? Because you're on number 4 now.
I'm aiming for, I guess, 5 books now. So we'll see what I can do.
Okay. So in other words, I could sit pretty and wait for them to be done, and then I'll binge them in a week.
Go for it.
Sweet. Yeah. Unlike me, who read the first one and then it was like, oh, okay, you had to wait. And then I'm like, you know what? When are they all coming out?
That's fair.
I'm in this binging mode.
Binging's fun.
Yes, it is fun. I've done that a lot these last few weeks. So I'm Natalie Locke. I am most active on Instagram under Writer Locke, but I co-wrote 2 writing prompt books, 1,000 Words to Get Started and 1,000 Words to Ignite Romance. And what makes these special, besides being writing prompt books and me co-authoring with my sister from another mister, is there's stickers in the back of 1,000 words for you to put in to the prompts, which there's a prompt page, and so there's enough room to write in here, and as well as there is plenty of challenges too. So no matter how new your writing pencil is or worn down it is, you'll find something to challenge you on it for sure. But yeah, I'm just here to support my friends for the time. And this helps me doing scripting the book or flipping the script as we're doing today. It helps me keep my reading constant. So looking forward to this one because it's very nostalgic.
Oh, yes. And you're here on my channel. I'm Nia the Vixen of Fiction all over the internet. I write under NV James. I write short, cozy fantasy romance. You can check those out while I work on some epic things that one day, eventually, I will finish. So you're here on my channel. You can follow me here over on Twitch and on Instagram, TikTok, all the things under Vixen of Fiction. So I'm going to find my banners so we can get right into it. We have an OG song. So with Frosty the Snowman began as a song way back in the day. It was written by Nelson and Rawlings, and the original singer ends up being the narrator of the movie. So what did we think? Anybody a dislike on the Frosty the Snowman song? Let's find the Grinch. Any Grinches? A neutral on it? A like on it? I'm alike on it. I really enjoy it. It's one of those it gets to stay in the high like because for me, it's not overplayed. Over the holidays, I feel like we hear it just enough that it doesn't get annoying or boring, and it's always fun. It has a very nostalgic feeling. It's probably one of the first like fun Christmas songs that I learned. I don't even remember when, so it has to be like an early like 3-4 year old memory for that. You don't really remember those memories when you're 3 or 4, but you just know you knew it. So that's how it is for me. I really enjoy it. I hear it maybe a couple times a week over the holidays, so it's like the perfect amount of hearing it, and you can sing it every time. How about you guys? Why are we likes on the song?
I'm jumping around with research. I like the song. It's very nostalgic. It's not one of the overplayed ones, and it is targeted towards kids, so it's not like my top 5 holiday songs, but it's what songs should be, which is telling a story. And that's I think that's why it's so easy to make it a show or a movie. I say show because it's like the first one was 30 minutes, but it's songs like I think the other holiday songs that I can think of is Christmas Shoes. Very sad. I don't know why it's around the holidays.
Yeah, that's a sad one.
But and then Frosty the Snowman is his story, and Last Christmas, another sad one. Again, stop it. But we have this storytelling of the holidays. I'll Be Home for Christmas. I'll make an argument that that's a storytelling.
It is, yeah,
and stuff. And technically, that's what songs are. They're flash fictions, and maybe that's why I like them and such. But in this case, there's very little difference between the song and the book that or movie that later came, and I think it definitely paved the way very nicely, and it's nostalgic.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a simple song. It's catchy. It's not overplayed like Mariah Carey being thawed out from her frozen prison once a year to just consume the airwaves. I think I don't often end up in Giant, but I feel like every time I do, I hear Mariah Carey at least once, and that's in a 30-minute tour around the shopping center to try and get all my groceries. I'm guaranteed to hear at least one Mariah Carey. So
yeah,
Frosty Snowman is definitely a lot sweeter. It's a fairly harmless song. It's a bunch of kids just going around. It's a catchy tune. What more do you need?
Agreed. Did anybody get a chance to see the original little animation thing that went with it?
So the 1954 one? No, I vaguely remember it, but I didn't look it up again. Because there is the 1969. Is that when it came out?
Yes.
The one word. Okay. But a lot of people aren't aware that there was an animation beforehand that kind of went along almost like a music video that came out in 1954.
Yeah, it's like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, something like that. Very short.
I mean, I like the color scheme of the 1969 version a little more. Yeah.
You get to move out of the black and white and even though the 69 was also flat, but this one was very flat. You could tell it was an animation for its era, but the people who got to see it really enjoyed it. So as we move into talking about the movie, we can talk about why they went that route with Frosty the Snowman. But I like the voice of the original.
And they actually changed the voice. There was an original in 1969. The children are not the same as what was later released in like 1970s. The children changed.
There's a lot of voice changing that happens, and some very interesting voice things.
Choices, yeah. There was like an off-color comedy guy, stand-up guy.
Yeah.
I think he was the voice of Frosty.
Yes, Frosty's
Yeah.
voice. Frosty's
And
voice.
he's not safe for work, not safe for
No,
families.
no. But I do like oh gosh, now I wanna go find his name really quick. It was Jimmy Durant who originally
Love
voiced the original little the song for the animation. So it wasn't like a recording at that time. So the first recording came later as we get into Frosty the Snowman the movie, and I think most everybody that's probably besides Jimmy Durant, it's the other one that most people remember. And it's I want to remember the other guys because we all know Gene Autry, but it was also the cast voice. So that's I think those two are the ones that people when they think of the OG sound of Frosty the Snowman, those are the two that come to mind. So and that's why. So Jimmy Durant, who was the narrator for Frosty the Snowman, the '69, was the singer. That was the voice for the original little animation. So it's cool that they kept him. And when we get into, we'll go ahead and get into the movie. Anybody else got anything to say about the song besides we really enjoy it?
No,
It's
the
a good
song to
one.
me is pretty clear, clear cut. The movie I have issues with because there was at times where I'm like, "You're a child,"
Oh, I have
and then
comments.
and I will, yeah, we'll go into it because there's actually some issues I have with the movie. It's still never.
Yeah.
Well, I'll wait.
We're almost there. We're so close.
Also, so there was actually a sequel on it too, on the movie with John Goodman that has some facts and logic issues as well. And
Winter Wonderland.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
there's I mean, Frosty the Snowman has been in public domain for a while, so there are some interesting offshoots, like two
Yes.
different movies named Jack Frost.
Yes. And here's the thing. This all sparked from a little 2-minute song.
Mhm.
That's pretty incredible. So let's go ahead and let's get into the Frosty the Snowman the movie. So we have this was originally aired on CBS, was with CBS for over 50 years, 50, 55 years, something like that. So we have the Frosty the Snowman. It was called a short special, 22 minutes. Anybody a dislike on Frosty? I'm looking for you Grinches out there. No Grinches on the stage. Neutral on Frosty. Who's a like on Frosty? I like it. All right. Anybody approaching the love? All right. Yeah, I'm a solid like. It's very nostalgic for me. It's one that when we used to have television, guys, I'm old. So when we used to have television, we watched it
Or
every year when it
cable.
came on.
There was no DVD and everything. We might have had the VHS, maybe.
Yeah. Yep. This one came on with a series of other shows.
Like Rudolph.
Charlie Brown Christmas. And we would just literally just watch them all. And it was just so much fun. It's so nostalgic. The cartoon itself, I would say, it is dated now and probably was dated in the 80s and 90s when we were watching them as kids. But we still watched them. We enjoyed the story. I loved the interweaving of the song into the movie because we'd get to those parts and we'd all sing the little part, and then the narrator would go on with the story. So it has a lot of nostalgia, but it was as a child, I just remember it being very enjoyable. Like we never were like, "Oh, Frosty again." It was never that. I don't think it mattered how old I got, and I was the oldest.
I got wore out by Rudolph, but Frosty, nah. It was
probably more Rudolph than Frosty.
The claymation.
Yeah,
for me, it was that sound with the teeth for the dentist.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
Either way, okay, but Frosty itself,
didn't have any of that.
Nostalgic, straight like and as a kid loved it. The only reason it's like today is because I now more aware of story structure and such, as well as being a parent. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not a love anymore.
Yeah. You start seeing the nitpicky. I'm going to let Ben, you give your thoughts, and then we'll nitpick some of the things that we notice as adults that we could have cared less when we were kids.
Yeah, so from, like you said, from a kid's standpoint, it's a very enjoyable movie. It's relatively harmless. I don't think anybody's going to see it and think they can actually go up to the North Pole, 25 minutes. You know, it's entertaining. It's got a good story. Like you said, there are a lot of structural details, but again, it's a cartoon show. The standards are pretty low in terms of flow and logic and story beats and everything. So it's not like you have high expectations anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are definitely some interesting things, like the facts and logic go out the window. So along with the story beats, things don't really make sense. I was very surprised that the villain was the magician. I didn't necessarily expect that one coming. Based on the song, it seems like based on the song, I don't know what the villain would be, but I feel like that's an interesting one. And then, yeah, the movie itself does involve a lot of things like stealing, kidnapping, child endangerment, like all the fun stuff that happens in kids shows where there's no parents involved. But yeah, it's played for laughs, and it's a fun kids movie, so like it.
Yeah. So this one, we get our voice actors. I think June Foray, who originally played Karen. I don't even know that I'm sure her voice changed because I'm watching as a kid in the 80s. I don't think I noticed. I don't know when the voice changed, but I think a lot of people who were the early watchers would be like, "Hey, that's different." So I think by the time we were seeing it, I that's not something that I would have noticed, but Frosty was incredibly popular because they needed another. From what I heard, I've watched a few videos on kind of like the makings of it and all that stuff. So from my understanding is that they needed another hit. So Charlie Brown Christmas was a hit and Rudolph was a huge hit. They needed another hit. And so they come up with they go back to this OG song from like the decade before and said, can we make something out of this? And so I do have the writer. I wrote his name down somewhere. Why did I write my notes on sticky notes this time instead of in my same song? The narrator. Oh gosh, I can't even think where I put who was the Romeo Mueller. He wrote it, so he came up with a story from the song. So a lot of the stuff, the reason why there must have been some magic in that old suit hat, that he had to come up with where this suit hat comes from. So that's where we get the villain. And he literally just had to write a story around this little bit of a song. So a lot of the stuff that is in this short film, the short special, he just was kind of like just came up with it to fill in the narrative. So that, I think he did a good job. That worked. Some of the animation sometimes didn't match what was going on, but he came up with a cool story to go with this song. And it feels like, even though some of the things are a little mitchy-matchy, wishy-washy, it feels like that's probably it. I didn't know it was the other way around. I had never thought about that the song was first. So it felt like the song came from the movie, vice versa, instead of vice versa for me. Anybody else got thoughts on any of the voice acting? Oh, Natalie, did you want to talk about Jackie Vernon?
You can. I don't remember. So the only thing I remember about the comedian is the stuff he would say he was a slideshow comic where people didn't see the slides. So I don't even know why they call him a slideshow comic, but he had his like notes on his slides and he'd flip through them. And it would always end with him saying, I thought this guy was a pretty nice guy, but it was, they ended up sending him down a research rabbit hole on certain positions that he was not aware of prior to the conversation. And that was part of his act. And again, not safe for work, not safe for children, not safe for families. Like
yeah. But the voice that's so smooth. I would have never thought any. His voice for Frosty is so smooth. Sounds like
It
such a
is.
sweet guy. I mean, people probably maybe he was, but he was saucy. He was saucy in the comedy clubs. So yeah, the parent. I don't think the parents knew. And also, I believe that this was the last thing that Jimmy Durant narrated. So he'd been in this for a while, but I believe that narrating Frosty was his last thing. And I can't think of the name of the lady who replaced June Foray, but she still is on the credits for it. But there is another voice. So the voice that we probably hear more currently is probably not actually June Foray. And
So we're going to jump into some issues because I'm still doing some.
yeah. Are we ready to talk about?
Y'all can talk about the issues. I got to finish my math real quick.
All right,
you
go right
understand when I'm done.
Okay, we'll understand what you said. All right, so there were some continuity issues. Some things I think as a kid we don't care about. Frosty goes from no fingers to 3 fingers to 5 fingers when he's counting, and it's just like a kid me. I'm like, that's just magic because he's snow, so you can just move the snow around. I don't know. Kid me just made sense in my head. I was like, yeah, that tracks. He has 3 fingers. Now he has like just mitts and now he can actually count pretty high. So kid me was just like, whatever you say, Frosty. Adult me is like, I don't know that they meant to do, because it's literally from one scene to the next. He's got 3 and then he's got a full hand. And I don't know if one of the scenes he might have even had more than 5. Who knows? It was a little wild. Did you pick up on any of those, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a few of them. And again, it's a kid show. It's a cartoon made in what, the 60s. That the stuff like that happens pretty regularly. I feel like there was a scene where it showed him his hands actually shifting, or like he was counting, or something. There was something weird where it like drew my attention to it. I don't remember exactly what happened, but it definitely feels like they were acknowledging that they didn't feel like going back and changing any previous inconsistencies. So
Yeah.
when the tone matches things like that, I'm perfectly fine with it. If this were like a really, really serious movie or a serious TV show and everybody's like acting their heart out, I'm less forgiving when things like that happen. Cough, cough, Frankenstein.
Yeah. In this one, he's got 3 fingers, he's got 5 fingers. It's just like you kind of like just roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a little clip where it was pointed out that when the kids are jumping over Frosty, they're doing a little leapfrog over Frosty, that because the animation, once they do the animation, whoever was putting it together needed to, I guess, extend it a little bit. So you have one of the kids going back to back. Would have been impossible to do. Kid me didn't. I'm like, and even when I was watching the clip of someone saying that this happened, I'm like, when did that happen? I'm like, where? I just watched this movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh my God. Adult me did not even see it. Did not. And now I can't not see it. I can't not see the exact same kid. Because I'm like, no, there's 2 kids that look alike. I think they're brothers. Maybe it's them. No, it's the exact same kid, same hair, same clothes, going back to back. And to just come to find out it was so that they could stretch the scene out to fit everything. And nobody wanted to just go back and edit a different kid doing the jumping. So it's just, it's little things that, again, even adult me just kind of casually rewatching it a few nights ago didn't even see it until I'm like, okay, yeah, I can't not see it. And just other things that happen, but I think that was kind of indicative of like 60s and 70s cartoons, where things just don't match, like the railroad tracks and things like that. I'm like, I don't know that anybody cared back then. Again, when this came out, it blew everything else out of the water. It became like number 1. It was the number one show for the week, and I think it was consistently number one. So much so it played for 50 plus years just on CBS. It still plays. I think they just switched what network plays it. Just incredibly popular. Spun so many spin-offs. It spun its own series that came like maybe a decade later. And we have our Jack Frost, and our even last Christmas we had the new Hot Frosty, which I did watch. It's campy, guys. If you just gotta like that kind of stuff to enjoy it. Otherwise, you're gonna think it's cheesy and silly. But it's just one of those. They really leaned into all of the things, which made it fun. And so Frosty the Snowman from this song kind of like spawned all of these things, which is kind of incredible. All right, Natalie, are you ready for your thoughts?
Yes. All right. So one of my biggest gripes, other than the children running amok and it's like, yeah, we'll go to the North Pole as long as I'm back by dinner. Like, just
yeah.
And then not to mention the cop doing the double take of like, yeah, he just came to life. All right, and then go, wait, he just came to life. Like, all those annoy me. However, the biggest thing was Santa Claus threatening never to give toys ever again, unless Professor Michael, whatever his name is, wrote 1 trillion times, 100 trillion
that
times.
Number is insane.
I'm sorry for what I did to Frosty. All right. Did the math. It takes about 12 seconds to write, I'm sorry for what I did to Frosty. Times that by 100 trillion, you get a big number. Bring that down all the way down from like seconds to minutes to and hours, years, 634 years, 634,195, almost 196 years. That's 0 sleep, only writing. And so
no hand cramps.
No hand cramps. And assuming you can keep the pace of 12 seconds the whole time. And I was writing fast. Like when I did my 12, counted up that it took 12 seconds to write that. Secondly, everyone knows that when Santa deals with bad kids, he brings coal. That year, there is never a situation where Santa has a cumulative punishment for the rest of your life. It is always just coal for that year of how good were you this year. So this goes against the entire lore of Santa.
At that point, adult me listening to that when I rewatched it, I was like, I would low-key just take the hat back.
I mean, because then you could just, it's magic. You get
it's magic. I'll make my own.
Either way, I'm just, I'm hearing 100 trillion. I'm like, okay, we're being hyperbolic here. But however, I wanted to, especially because the fact that the timeline was, if you go home and write this 100 trillion times in the morning, I'll give you have stuff in your stocking. And I was like, there's no way. And so that's why I decided to do the math and figure out how long it would take to write that line 100 trillion times, assuming that you didn't sleep and that you could keep your pace the same. Yeah.
You have that faith he could do it. He could do it.
No way. And what sucks is that most of the calculators I had to work with don't go up that high. So I had to use the internet, and I'm like using different websites and stuff. And I was like, just make the multiplication.
See, that might be a good use for AI. AI, calculate this in the trillions for me.
The thing is that I wanted, first I had to figure out how, if anybody wants to know, 14 zeros in 100 million, by the way. That's about, that's 4 groups of 3 zeros each, then plus 2 zeros with the 100. Okay. You had to multiply that by 12. If anybody wants to check my math, multiply that by 12 because it's 12 seconds per time of writing this. Then you got a 12 to e to the power whatever. And I was like, all right, now that I got the seconds total. I divided that by 60, which then gave me 333 million, 333 million, 333,333 minutes.
Oof.
Divide that by 60 to get my hours, which gave me pretty much 10 fives, whatever that comes out to be. I didn't put my commas in there.
Yeah.
And it's like 0.56 afterwards. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll keep that in there for multiplication. So I took that hours, and then I had to use another calculator to calculate the number of days. Got the number of days, which I didn't write down, but it was like a good chunk. I made it simple and just divided it by 365. I could have done 365.25, but
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it. And then I got to my 634,195, almost 96. It's like 0.83 for years. So if anybody wants to go back on it, on the double check it out.
That 0.25 is when he's resting, so that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. He gets a gimme about one day every 4 years.
He gets the rest.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was
the thing that just I latched on to.
Yeah, I'm like, it seems so absurd now. I think as a kid, it's like, haha.
Yeah, because it's like, it makes me think, right? It's very kid-like. It makes me think of like, I double dare you, or, triple dog dare you, like all these things, or it's going to take forever, and just all these like kid embellishments of where everything just seemed like end of the world. And but the fact that we had adults chiming in on those hyperbolic statements, like just that, I was like, no. And then like I said, it goes against all Santa lore of,
it does.
It's only for that year.
1 year, there's always a year to redeem yourself.
Exactly.
And get off the naughty list. And it doesn't seem like
it's
like
kind of an annual thing. I do support, though, maybe there are some things in this world where you get punished for the rest of your life. However,
maybe that is the point, because taking the hat is kind of like, it was his birthday. You're kind of unaliving.
Yeah, you're kind of
if you think about it that way.
Touché.
You've unalived him because he took the hat from him once already. So you've already unalived him once. You're trying to keep him unalive this time by taking the hat now, and you want to unalive him again. So maybe the punishment does fit.
There's no way that he could enjoy a Christmas before he's done, is my point of writing all that. There's if you're posted, because I think the quote was, "You shall write it 100 million times," and it kind of, you could discern that Santa meant you will finish writing it and I'll bring you something. And I was like, there's no way.
Yeah, never gonna happen
unless you use AI to print out.
He's magic too. So all you have to do is get 1 trillion pens and write simultaneously, and it's easy.
Yeah. Or maybe he'll get some of his magic to finally work and get magic pins going. Mm-hmm. But yeah, a kid me was definitely like, haha, look at what you got to do. Adult me is like, just take the hat, dude. Go make some magic and get your own stuff.
Yeah, I will say I do like that we explain where the hat came from. And it also, I think, adds to it that the magician, he didn't understand the full possibility of the hat. And so therefore I thought it was it was even more enforcing that the rightful owner of the hat should be Frosty and not him. Yeah, because of his lack of understanding. But in the song, we don't know where the hat came from. So I think it was kind of a nice thing to create that. And we do have a story arc of he goes, oh, okay, and redeems himself. Though we don't have an image of him writing at all. Just saying.
Yeah, that's true. Because I'd probably give up. I'd be like, I can't do this.
Yeah. Are you kidding? I drag my feet on editing my own work, okay? And you expect me to write 100 trillion? No.
Yeah, and I'm like, even if I wrote one page and got a copier to do the rest, how much money am I spending on paper to do that? That's crazy.
Excellent point. So either way, it's nostalgic as kids. As an adult watching it, you kind of peel it apart a little bit, but it's had its impact on our culture for sure, and the spinoffs and that we've had from it.
And then we did have them letting the kids know that going to the North Pole unsupervised is a bad idea. You're going to freeze.
Yeah.
And then we have one of the saddest scenes, because we don't know Santa's going to come to the rescue, when Frosty melts. Like, what?
Oh, that was my other issue. So Frosty is so sentient, I think would be the right word here, is that he knows, he's like, wait, I'm a snowman and I'm speaking. How is this possible? Like, he's self-aware, but yet also aware of the politics. But then he goes walking through town and he's like, what's a traffic light? It doesn't make sense.
It does.
How can you that this is a precursor to Frozen?
Ooh. Oh, I did notice that by Frozen's comment of where Olaf said some people are worth melting for, the entire time that was playing in my head.
Yes.
When Frosty was worried about the little girl and took her into warmth, and he's like,
worried about Karen over himself.
Yeah, and he was like, it's fine if I melt. Like he didn't, it wasn't like it's fine, but he wasn't like avoiding it either, and it just
it's just what he had to do for Karen.
It's just what he had to do. So it made me think that maybe Frosty walked so Olaf could run.
Yeah, I love that. And we have an Olaf because of Frosty. I like it's beautiful.
To me, it seems like a logical thing for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. Did everybody get a chance to read the little golden book, or read parts? Okay. So, what are our thoughts on Frosty the Snowman? I got it because I have someone I can give them to. So he actually, the little babe was here today and literally tried to take the book. He's 6 months old and was not like yet, trying to. Not yet. I'm like,
is it a board book or is it paper?
This one's paper. So
no, we need to wait on that, honey.
Yeah. So I'm like, you can look at it. I told him he has a little space on the bookshelf for it. But because I got it, I also went ahead and got Rudolph too. So
those little golden books, like,
oh my god,
that is quintessential of childhood.
Yes, they absolutely
at least for us. I don't know. I have a few of them, but I don't have a lot for my own kids right now.
Yeah, so I have these two so far. My daughter said she has one. So now she's like, oh, we got to get on. I'm like, I think there might be a lot. You might want to slow your roll, find out how many there are before we start collecting these. But yeah, so what did we think? Let's go. Anybody a dislike? A neutral? A like. I'm a neutral like on the book, and like, so we're kind of like neutral likes.
It was in that range. Like a written version of the short special, as they call it.
Yes. So that is actually one of the things I like about it, is that that's what it is. So I'm gonna say the thing that I didn't like about it is that there's not enough song in it. So
yeah, I wanted some rhyming. I will admit.
Yeah, I did. Yes, that's what I wanted. I wanted the song sprinkled in, like it's sprinkled in the movie. But in the book, it just says what the thing is. So they march through the town, and at the end, Frosty says really long. I wanted Frosty to say, "I'll be back again someday," or I did not. What does he say? It's just not that. He says, Frosty waved goodbye as he hurried on his way. I wanted it to say, Frosty waved goodbye, saying, don't you cry. I needed that. It would have definitely boosted it up to into more of the like. But it's a neutral like. It's so cute. Kids are going to love it. Like I said, the little grandbabe has already been trying to take the book away with him when he came over today. And I'm like, not yet. Let me use it today, and then you can have it. Well, he can't because he'll eat it. But eventually, in a year from now, he'll be able to have it.
I mean, I'm sure he could get the fiber, but let's hold off.
Yeah,
let's for that. Ben, what do you got to say?
Yeah, I liked it. It follows the book. It follows the movie exactly. I don't have as much of an issue as Nia does with the ending, because it shows him riding off with Santa Claus, which is like the best possible scenario.
It is.
So, yeah.
But I just wanted the words.
It's cute. It's fun. It's holiday.
It is. I just wanted that. I mean, I'll probably sing it when I'm reading it. I'll probably sing those words, But I wanted him. I would have loved to have had him in the book. The same thing with the walking through the streets. It would have been cute. It would have been cute to have it in there, just little parts. And I don't know why. I don't know if there was I probably should have looked it up, if there was some copyright issue why they couldn't put some of the lyrics into the book more exactly how the lyrics go in the song. Should have looked that up, but I didn't. But I know that it's not there. All right, so I will say, if we're going to go ahead and talk best and worst changes, for me, from song to movie, best change is that the writer, Mr. Mueller, comes up with a 20-minute story. He comes up with a lore. For the hat, for Frosty, he comes up with an entire story from a 2-minute song, and so it really expands it out. I think it would have been challenging just to go just based on the song alone. You would have ended up with a 2-minute clip that looks like a more updated version of the OG. So kudos on him for coming up with a story, for adding the musician, adding the rabbit. He's super adorable. We loved him. He's just getting that hat where it needs to go. Karen is sweet, and the kids are fun. So he did a good job of, kind of like bringing the song to life. And for me, the worst change would be going from movie to book after the song and not adding in just little bits of the song here and there, sprinkle it in. I would have loved that. So that's all I got for best and worst changes. So anybody else?
I mean, worst changes, let's go with all the child endangerment. I mean, I feel like that wasn't originally in the song. Hypothetically, you have a kid who's trying to get a ticket to the North Pole, and the train conductor, the ticket person, says, that's going to be like $300, $3,000, whatever. And the kids go, well, we can't pay for that. So they just hop on the train. Like, that is just teaching children not to pay for things. Teaching children to circumvent the system, which, just great for my career, but at the same time, like, it's teaching kids the wrong lesson, and that kids who run away from home will end up good or meeting Santa Claus or like all these other things. So there's a whole lot of bad lessons that are baked into the song that just kind of get absorbed, baked into the TV show that will just get absorbed.
Yeah, well, Boxcar Children came out in 1924, so kids were kind of aware. Hopping on a train.
You can hop on a train. Yeah. And here's the thing. Did it also teach the lesson that it's okay to do a bad thing to save someone? Because they're literally just trying to save Frosty. So you do what you got to do. And then Frosty, in return, did what he had to do to save Karen. So it's, what's the real lesson?
All I'm saying is that Santa didn't show up. This would have been a lot worse.
It would have been, because she's still stuck. She's in the greenhouse. Was there food in there? How long is she gonna last?
Was there any poisonous plants? Because you can't just like go grab it.
Yeah, you can't eat anything. How long is she gonna be able to stay in that greenhouse? She can't leave.
Yeah, my other rabbit hole search was, I was like $3,000, and I think they did pretty well laying out like how long it would take to get there, because you got all these stops and everything. I looked up to do a 16-day expedition on like a cruise ship, $45,000 for today.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was just curious. I was like, 3,000 seems steep, but then I was like, wait a second, how much would it cost? And that was the first thing that came up, was a cruise ship expedition type thing. I'm sure there's other things out there, but either way, you can only take a commercial plane or a commercial boat so far. And after a certain point, you have to get a specialized guide.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now the money is making a little more sense. Thank you, Natalie, for doing the work.
I'm just kind of curious. I mean, I want to go to Antarctica at one point, so it's curiosity.
Those are specialized expeditions. It's not your run of the mill cruise. So totally understandable. Did we have any more fun facts and behind the scenes, or did we already sprinkle them all in?
I will say, if you want to watch Frosty get a love interest, his wife is Crystal, and that's in Winter Wonderland. And I thought that was a beautiful note, though it did give me vibes of like Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein.
Was that the sequel to this?
Yes.
Okay, because I watched that, and I don't know. The only thing that I really remember from it was that the key defining factor for Frosty Snowman is when he takes his hat off, he turns into a puddle. Like he loses all the magic and whatever. He turns back to a regular snowman.
Yeah.
But in the movie, he's just taking his hat off, no problem. So I don't know what was going on.
Yeah,
there.
Maybe Santa fixed it so that this is my brain filling in the plot holes. Maybe Santa fixed it so as long as he's still touching it, we're good. I don't know. I gotta fix the plot holes. It's a writer thing. You see him, I see him. I'm like, there's got to be a reason. But yeah, technically, when the hat comes off, he should be a snowman again. I
agree with that logic. If he's taking it off, it's still touching him, his snow.
So he still owns it. He's still the one.
He still owns it. Whereas, like, why would his hands work if it's on his head? Because his hands aren't touching it.
Fine.
And he's all snow.
That's okay. We're filling in these plot holes. It's good. It's good.
Fine.
Well, if you want plot holes, there was the two Jack Frost movies. So you have one starring Michael Keaton, which is kind of like it's one of the worst Christmas movies of all time, but it has the great line of "Snow Dad is better than no dad." Because
that's tough.
Michael Keaton with like a singing career, and then he ends up dying on the road and comes back as a snowman. And then there was Jack Frost, the horror movie, which kids should definitely not watch, which has some interesting scenes.
To be clear, that's Jack Frost. That is open, whatever it's called. Jack Frost is like public domain.
Use. Yeah, public domain.
Yeah, and even though they are depicting Jack Frost as a snowman, it's not Frosty's snowman, so therefore it's not infringing on it.
Fair enough. Well then, yeah. So if you want, those are two excellent and terrible movies to watch. One you can watch with your kids. The other one you definitely should not. But they have kind of the broad spectrum of movie types. You have horror, and then you have comedy.
Yeah. Any other final thoughts before we talk about what we might have coming up for the new year? My final thought is definitely worth a watch. It doesn't get old. As long as it doesn't get overplayed, you're good with Frosty the Snowman. And I think the kids will still love it, especially the little kids. And the
song is catchy and stuff. And I think, and it's short enough that might keep them engaged.
Agreed. Ben, any final thoughts before we talk about what's next? All right, guys, let's move on to, we have January and February. February is up in the air. January, we're going to try and do Percy Jackson. Is that correct?
Yes. If everyone's free on 25 January.
Yeah,
that's what we're looking for. Because Percy Jackson, so the season 2 is coming out on Disney Plus. So we already did season 1 a while back, and we all had great things to say about it compared to the movies that were a little older. And now we get season 2. So
Yeah, so it'll be fun to see where they go with it and what they keep, what they change. I always like to look at those things and see if it works. So we'll be talking Percy Jackson. It'll be the end of January, the 25th, I believe Natalie just said. And then February's up in the air, but guys, get ready. We'll let you know for February and get ready for March. We'll be doing the second half of Wicked. We did the first half. I've got guests that are itching and scratching. They're like, tell us when.
And I can tell you, I got April picked out if the team's ready for this. So,
ooh, what are we doing?
Project Hail Mary. It is released March 20th.
Okay.
But this is by Andy Weir. If you are familiar, we read Andy Weir, The Martian, that became a movie. It. So it is along the same vibes of this, of a very sarcastic main character that we're following, and finding themselves into a new situation. So Project Hail Mary it's a fabulous book. I always recommend it. The audiobook actually got an award. So since the movie is finally coming out starring Ryan Gosling on March 20th, it's coming out in theaters. I figured April some point will give everyone plenty of time to watch it or and consume the book as well.
All right, sounds good. All right, so the only thing we don't know February, but we got things coming up. Stay tuned. Definitely get those Percy Jackson watches in. It's already, I think the first episodes are already out. At least one is out, I believe, or getting ready to come. Like I saw the thing and I was like, oh, it's time to watch Percy Jackson. So it should be coming out if it's not already started. And I think last time did they drop half of them and then one at a time or something like that? Oh, it's the first two. I think the first two have either just dropped or are getting ready to drop.
Yeah, that's what I saw, is that they're about to, I think, or they did.
Yeah, so look forward to that. Get your reading and your watching on, guys, so that you can join us and let us know in the comments what you think. Ben and Natalie, you guys want to talk about what y'all have coming up, where people can find you before we close out?
Sure. Yeah, you can find me every Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Running to Write on YouTube. And I hope to see you there as we can be productive together and start the week off right.
All right, and
I'm Natalie Locke, and I pretty much don't do stuff on my own channel, YouTube channel, but I am jumping around to others. So the next thing we got coming up is a write-a-thon over on Right Now with Jared Kaufman. So that will be the 26th through the 28th of December.
Very cool. And you can catch me here on YouTube. I'll also be on Twitch next week, and I am taking the Christmas holiday week off. But other than that, I also have Writers React. We'll be doing that, I think either next Saturday or the following Saturday. I can't remember which one, but we're going to talk about some of the things that have been happening in the writing sphere, and then we'll do some bookish Am I the A-holes? So those are always fun. This one that we did, y'all got to go back and watch. But some of these people, it's like, what are you thinking? Is this rage bait? So you can check those out over on my YouTube channel. Guys, thank you all so much. We're going to peace out. Have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, all of the things that if you celebrate, enjoy them. If you don't celebrate, just enjoy the winter season. And we'll see you back next year with more. All right. Bye.